and how you do, like, again, it's fascinating because where was I was doing, and the furthest south you go is like that, because I can remember going into I don't know, maybe it was Popeyes, because I really like Popeyes in the south.
Yep.
And
The hotels, everything. You get treated totally different. It's like we only know one way. You know what I'm saying? Like,
be good to people. Be good to people. Hey.
And the stream to YouTube is now live, so
All
if
right.
anyone wants to share it, I'm putting up Facebook right now.
Okay. Share Facebook.
Let's see. Oh, come on.
the blessed show to be successful, and all the listeners to be open and receptive to the messages, and our words be clear, concise, and filled with love and understanding and full faith.
And then remember to encourage people to comment and get at us too.
Like, share.
Yeah, like, just even as you're talking through the conversation, we always get more response when you do. Okay, Facebook is now up,
Okay, I'll go share it.
and I'm going to turn on the chat, and then we'll be ready. Hey, everybody, we got a great show today. We're going to be talking about a topic very near and dear to my heart. What do men really want in a relationship? I guess mine would be, what do I want in a relationship? But we got Coach Trey is in the building, in spirit at least, and visually. And, yeah, they're going to be chopping it up. So get at us in comments. We love when you guys comment as well. And they might even get back to your comment if we can during the show. And we'll be starting in about 30 seconds. All right, Alex, you can take it away whenever you're ready.
All right. Welcome to the I Declare Love podcast, where we're bringing logic to love. So smart, ambitious women and the men who love us get the tools and skills they need to be able to love, be loved, and build great relationships. This is my jam. As we are rounding out this month, fall is beautiful, so hopefully you've gotten a chance to enjoy this beautiful weather. We got some really fun events and exciting news coming up. But as we round out this dating topic, which has been the topic, wanted to get into the discussion from a man's perspective, because we hear a lot about dating, we talk a lot about dating. So want to invite the one, the only Coach Trey, relationship strategist, to join me in the discussion as we explore what men really want in relationships, especially as it relates to dating. Coach Trey, welcome. Tell people a little about you.
How's it going? How you feel? This is Coach Trey, and the relationship strategist, and this is our man perspective segment on dating. So I'm a relationship strategist, author, and spiritual healer, and basically I'm like I tell people, like I'm in the field with this every day, helping people deal with all levels of stuck issues and cycles of hurt, pain, and confusion. And so it allows me to always be tapped into exactly what's going on and what are some of the challenges that people are having in the dating world every day or in their relationships. So, yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad you're here. And because, again, like this October, the holidays are coming up. And, there are people who are legit, like, wanting to be in a great relationship, right? I'm having an event coming up this Sunday about the myths and the magic of marriage. But can you talk a little bit about maybe the myths of dating that you see just regularly from a man's perspective? Like, what are some of these dating myths that show up as it relates to, like, what are men looking for these days when it comes to dating? Because it seems like there's so many options.
Well, so if I go at it from an angle of what men are saying or what men are looking for, I think what seems to keep happening is that there's an imbalance. One second, let me change this light here. Flashing on me. There's this imbalance of expectations and how that's being communicated. I think most of us, or I see most people, are dating with a lot of fear. A lot of fear, a lot of you show me yours before I show you mine, right? That seems to keep coming up. And so everybody's in this space of not really being as authentic on what it is they're really looking for. So what seems to be happening is people are going to the thing that is the default, which is sex. And without really developing a true connection, because they don't trust that, so they start to focus more on the things that they feel they'll use that to influence. So from a man's perspective, it's really difficult where the myth that men don't feel this same level of anxiety and the same level of confusion as women, and also the fact of just wanting to be sure that before they commit themselves to someone, that this is someone that actually sees them for who they are and honors the fact that they also have, desires to be in a committed relationship, but yet they haven't quite figured out how to present that in a way that still maintains their respect or their cool factor. Right? So that's some of the things from a man's perspective standpoint I've seen, and then from a because there's not a lot of men who come to me, but there are definitely a lot more women.
Right.
And what I get there is, I'll say, and this is just off the top, but I'm hearing, what do I hear most? It's like a negative belief mob mentality. It's like there is no man out there who really wants to commit. They're all playing games. And that's hard. That's hard to, when you have to reveal to someone like, well, I just got through talking to a guy that does want to commit. So, but if he meets you and that's what you're approaching with, then he has to go through this wall of convincing you
that he wants something better.
That's not what he's out here for. He's out here to actually see if there's really a connection, if something we can grow together, we can develop something together.
Yeah, no, that's real.
But yet, this wall of just negativity that's out there, and I think most of it's spreading through our social media and not necessarily through what people are really experiencing.
And I think that's exactly right? So when you talk about that, so thanks for sharing that, because that's exactly right. But at the end of the day, as you said, like, men really want somebody that likes them for who they are and wants to be treated as if they are the first time that you've encountered him, because it's usually, that's the truth. It's like, you just met me. Now, all the men you might know are whatever, but don't label me like that. So men want to be seen for who they are, valued for who they are, and not have to take credit or blame, for that matter, for the things that another man has or has not done.
Let me share this. I just saw a post where I think it was, and I don't know if it's true or not, but I think it's interesting. I think it was Nick Cannon and Neo, and they had made a comment about saying when they realized that women don't really like nice guys, they changed their whole persona.
Yeah, I saw that. I did see that too.
So yeah, I don't know if it's true. People can throw anything together, but there is some truth to that. And I can speak.
Okay, go ahead. Because as the love engineer, I got perspectives about it, but we'll let you share yours, and then yes, indeed.
I can speak to that from past times. I started to notice that as well. I was one of those young teenage males that was very poetic and romantic and would write poetry, and I saw that, like, oh, it seemed like the women were more interested in the guys who were who didn't care about them, who really just looked at them like, yeah, I know you want me, I know you like me, but also this girl likes me. That, like, it seemed like the guys who made it difficult or played around, like, that's where they're more attracted. And someone who's actually seeing who they are at their heart and their value, had a very low attraction rate.
Yep.
So I started noticing it, and I did my own experiment, and unfortunately it worked.
Yeah.
When I unfortunately it worked. I was like, man, that's sad. The less I cared, the more
it's
I
the
had
idea
no
of you
problem.
want what you can't have. It's the human factor in us, but I do want so. While we don't want to necessarily agree or even like the idea of it, I think what it points to that many women don't appreciate or value is how much influence we actually have over men.
Say that.
Everything 100,000% embarrassing to say, but I've switched because I've seen a woman I was taking nightness for weakness. Yeah, absolutely. And so while there'll be many smart ambitious women who are like, oh, he's a man, he should be able to do it. I don't think there's just enough understanding that has been taught to women to realize that we are literally, and that's how come I serve smart ambitious women, because I know that if I can influence her, I influence men. Right? The brothers that are out here talking about therapy and healing and all that stuff, it's like the reason that is a thing is because they know women like it.
Look, right there. So listen, ladies and gentlemen, y'all listening.
Do like and
Honestly,
share this.
this is-
This is gonna get good. And it is
But
good.
this is what sets us apart, right? This is exactly what sets us apart. So Alex and I, going back years, right? Over 10 years.
10 years.
We've just always been in sync on the core level of trying to understand what really just does not work for love and relationship, and what can work, should work, and principally just continuously check out if you follow the logic with love. We never really sat down and really had to go through any real back and forth. It just seemed like, you get it, I get it.
Yeah.
And what she just said highlights what sets this whole system of what we're trying to bring forth, what sets us apart, is what she said. This idea that, and we're dealing with what's at our core. And I love the analogy you heard her say before about the operating systems of a Mac and a PC. It's the acceptance of we have two completely different operating systems. With that acceptance, I would align that with saying you just accepting our basic primal biology, not getting into I'll call the social garnishment of what it should be, what's ideal.
What I can choose now, I can opt in, all this other jazz. Because I just had a guy today, yesterday maybe in the comments, and was like, you're not looking to eliminate gender norms and roles. I was like, because even if I was, biology and nature is undefeated.
Right now it is. So until that can shift, right now let's not
Nature
work
is
against
undefeated.
ourselves.
Undefeated, no
Right?
matter how you
Let's not
feel
work
about it.
against ourselves.
Yeah.
And so nobody's really talking about that. What they're doing, it's like all these pillow fights.
Yeah.
Right.
Men
Food
this,
fights,
women that, women this, men that. It's like, no, men move and have always moved according to the direction of women. That is how come, like I said, as the work I do as a love engineer, it's like, because if women understood it, so now then we go all the way back to what men want. Men want whatever pretty women want.
Yep.
And I don't mean pretty like she's got to be drop dead model gorgeous. Matter of fact, I just heard, was it Shannon Sharp, that guy, and Deion Cole, I think, were on the show together, and he was talking about, I was like, here are these, two powerful men with all the money you can imagine, and what they are expressing and exploring on a platform is about how to get women. Both of them equally confused. Shannon Sharp and Deion Cole, I am here as the love engineer, more than happy to support you, brothers, because while going to Whole Foods, which is, and pretending like you don't know what to do with it, will get you a woman to you that doesn't keep her heart interested in you, which is what men still want. Men want people that care about them.
I mean, this is it. And so, honestly, I don't care what book you buy. It doesn't even have that many pages. It really doesn't, because if you can grasp that, the power that women possess to influence men much faster than the power that men have to influence women to be a different way or a certain way that, to be attracted to. Like, there's way more power and influence in a woman's hands or in her heart to influence a man who men will do things because of a woman. I always say you'll do it because of her, but not for her.
Right.
And
Right.
you can't change him. He won't change for you, but he can change
Because of you. There you go.
I know it sounds the same, but there's a distinction there.
How does that, what does that distinction look like? Because there are so many when it comes to dating. I mean, women who, for all good reasons, right? So she wants him to be a certain way because she believes that if she gets that kind of man, then she's going to be safe and cared for and taken care of. Because at the end of the day, women still want to be provided and protected.
Yep.
Biologically, it's not even, she don't even intellectually know, it just looks different to her now. And so it's like, if he do this, or whatever your this is, whatever your this might be, again, do make sure you like and share this. But how does she subtly, because this is back to the art of influencing, right, as opposed to the process of it, right? How do you influence a man? And the key is influence, but know that your heart has to be pure. It has to be beneficial for both of y'all.
Mm-hmm.
But how does a woman in dating, how does she influence and share what she needs and desires from a man without making him feel like she's trying to change him?
Correct. Yeah. Well, that's the thing. You have to sincerely value who he is, just as he showed. I value who he is.
As he is.
And as he is, right? And he has to sincerely feel and sense that from you, because I think women underestimate our level of awareness.
True, because women's intuition, we give it way too much credit, and not realizing that it's human intuition. Men have it too.
We have it too. We know we know when you make us a project and we've already decided, I'm gonna let her do this, but I ain't with it.
I ain't with it, long as I get the benefit on the backside of it.
Yeah, somebody's like, I know what she's trying to do. So now how you would influence is, the number one thing is you have to really get to know who he is. And that comes up or opens up more as you share more of who you are. So your vulnerability, your self-acceptance makes him feel that he'll be accepted by you.
That part.
And acknowledging his strengths, acknowledging and giving appreciation for what you notice that he has done, whether in the past or what he's currently doing.
Big
That's
or
very
small, ladies. He wants appreciation.
A man is very motivated from things that he's already
good at
and successful at, and that you recognize. Even if I just walk up and you go, "Ooh, I like them shoes," versus let's say you don't like the shoes, right? So how do you convince a guy to change something that you think he would be, whatever, but you always start with the thing that you know he's already done well.
Yep.
Just write that down.
Big or small.
So let's say he's wearing a pair of shoes that you don't care, but there's another pair that you did care for. But I like those, but those green Gators, oh man, that does something to me.
And he will wear them every
if you let
day.
me, like, if I had my choice, I could see you in those green Gators with nothing else on but those green Gators. So, ding, ding, ding. So he's gonna be like, oh, really? All of a sudden, them shoes that he's wearing right now, it's like, I ain't gonna wear these no more. I'm gonna find a way to get some green Gators or something that's close to it, or I'm gonna ask her, like, baby, you think these are similar? How you feel about these?
And I'm gonna pause there. So that's good, Coach Herbie, because again, smart, ambitious sisters. It's like, here's the thing, and in this I Declare Love podcast is hear the nuance, because again, like I said, men are like a PC, women are like a Mac. They operate differently. Women don't operate like that. And so, whereas a woman, if you don't want her to wear something else, you just tell her that shoe's ugly, that dress ugly, and she is giving them away to the Goodwill. Men double down if you tell them you don't like it. But if you want to change it, show him what you do like.
Please.
And he will do that as well, because again, so he will double down if you criticize it, because now he has to protect himself against you. But if you compliment it, you can get it all day, whatever it is. It doesn't matter what it is that if you want him to do something different, compliment him on something that you do appreciate, and he will find more ways because he wants to be appreciated. That true or not true?
100%. You start with what you like. You start with what you appreciate, and he'll add to that. He'll start to, because that number one, that feels good. It feels like, man, I'm winning with her, right?
Winning. He wants to win. Just know that as you like
Right?
and
I'm
share
winning
this,
with
he
her.
just wants
She
to
likes,
win.
she likes my style, and even if she doesn't care for this, she doesn't make me feel uncomfortable. She doesn't criticize it, right? Which goes right to our fragility, because men are way more fragile than women could imagine. So the
Right.
criticism, as she said, does create a form of protection. And some men don't express it. They'll just withdraw. And you won't realize it until you in full-blown upset mode.
Yeah.
But he's been withdrawing. For every time you criticize, there's a little bit of a withdrawal.
Because it says she
Let me
don't
say it
like
again.
me.
Every time you criticize,
Every time you criticize,
there's a little bit of a withdrawal.
there's a little bit of withdrawal.
So now pay attention to any relationship you've been in, and when it seemed like it came out of nowhere, but you go back, each time a little bit of pain, he pulls back a little bit. He doesn't say anything
Even if he
anymore,
stays.
right?
Yep.
That's the average guy. Like, most men can't articulate or won't even try, or if they do try, it gets deflected or diminished. So it's like, okay, no. Don't tell her, just pull back.
That's good, and Gabe says, I feel like it's forgotten in many cases. So that I want this to work too. Very tired of women assuming the worst of my attentions. That's so good, and I think that when it comes to dating, that's the deal. It's like particularly women are trained that men only want one thing. He out to play no good, so she goes into it like detective to catch a man doing wrong, and she will find it.
Yep.
As opposed to, I remember like in 4th grade, we used to have these like caught being good books.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, if you take that into dating, it's like, catch him being good. Look for the good in him. And if you have a struggle with like the idea that you would look for the good in somebody, you got to ask yourself, why would you be in a relationship with somebody that you cannot catch being good?
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so
Absolutely.
being willing to compliment, and because men are so less vocal, there's a misunderstanding like, oh, they don't care or they don't feel it.
And let me share this from a man's perspective. Direct is always the best path, like directly asking versus assuming, right?
I say it all the time,
Because
ask, don't assume.
most of the time, men, we don't have the diffused awareness and complex capacity to hold a lot of underhanded agendas and strategies in our mind like you might think we do.
Yeah, it's it. Men
We
are
don't have
linear thinkers. Men are linear thinkers, meaning he's thinking the thought, right? Men are linear, women are circular thinkers. So that's a fair point. Men can only see the next thing. He is not
Right.
down. It's like, talk to me like a motivational football coach. Assume I want to help the team.
Right, every time, right, 100%. That's it. Because I'll have some clients who call and they'll say, "Well, I called him, I texted him, and he hadn't responded to my text. So, did I text too much? Does he not like me anymore? Because it seemed like we had a great time." And you're like just piling on. And I was like, "So, what did he say?" Well, he said he had a bunch of clients today, or he had to work, or he had some meetings. Okay, did he anything else? No, that's it. But they're adding all these other things of why he hasn't responded yet. And I said, well, how about you just assume that what he says is happening is all that's happening, and that if he didn't want to talk to you, that and I get it. I'm hearing women saying like, some guys do just like have this fear or thing where they just don't share what they're really feeling, and they just kind of ghost or disappear.
Yeah.
I get that. I know that happens, and I really don't even have an answer for that.
And you can't make it stop. If you, I mean, like, really, do you want to chase? Don't chase the guy.
Definitely don't chase
Let
him.
him ride, because if he wants to be there, he will.
That's another thing. I always say he's not going to let the woman that he wants to be with be confused about that. If he wants you and he's claiming something significant with you,
You will know.
the last person he wants to not know that for sure is the one that he's claiming
That he wants to be
to
with.
see. Right, because that leaves too much room for someone else to enter and influence you. So he wants you to walk when you're walking around through the day and you're at the gas station and the guy's saying something to you. He wants to occupy that space in your mind. Oh no, thank you. No, thank you. I'm talking to somebody. I'm already. He wants you to be him to be in that part of your mind. Not, I don't know. I mean, I guess I could take his number because I don't really know what Derek is doing. So, not the guy that's claiming you. He's not going to want that.
It's true.
He'd rather you know for sure.
And that's a hard pill for many to swallow. And because to your point, because then you got to then deal with the reality that you might not be that girl for him, but that doesn't mean you aren't the girl for somebody. And I think sometimes that's the hard part. And even me and my own, like I said, this love lab I've been a part of for a very long time as dating, and it reveals your own insecurities.
Yep. And but you get to face it, and you don't have to waste your time, because that time wasting with the guy that is not demonstrating that is blocking and obscuring your vision for the guy that is, or that's about to, or that's stepping up, or that's always tried to get that across to you, but for whatever reason you were not in receptive mode. So each time you're doing that, when your mind is occupied trying to figure out if someone else really likes you, there's a guy, and he might be right there,
Literally.
right around the corner. He might have just messaged you, but you're not going to be receptive or perceive of him because you're still tapped into what is
Not happening.
moving away from you
Yeah.
instead of what is moving towards you.
And that's the truest. I just had that scenario play out, right? Where there's a gentleman talking, we're having a great time. And then I was like, oh, this ain't going to work for us. Let me say it differently. This is not going to work for me under these conditions. The next day, a brother shows up and it's like, hey, beautiful smile. And I was just like, and so there is something about just being free and open and trusting. I think that's the big piece,
Yes.
right? So when we come to dating, is that not making this person the person, right? Because how do you bring up, and this is probably a question, and I want to hear thoughts. The comments say, I don't think women understand how incredibly powerful it is when they give you support. It is when it's inconvenient for her, especially when you let her down, and because somebody has to. Because right now everybody living life.
Yep.
How would you want a woman to respond? Or maybe we role play it because we do good at that. Where it's like, what happens when the plans have to change or when you're super busy? Because that's the new buzzword. Men are busy. They got children. They got jobs. They got mamas who's sick or not sick. But she busy or he busy. How does that work when it comes to dating? Like when you're busy, but you could be interested, but you're not able to commit to everything.
I think ultimately, if a guy's actually busy, usually he's going to communicate that early on. Again, because if he wants you to know, and he wants to occupy that space in your mind, he's going to make sure you understand, and he's going to sort of give you a window, a win. And he's probably going to make some compromise to his schedule because he's going to want to reassure you. These are the laws. I'm not just telling, unfortunately, because I know when I have to tell some of my clients, it's like, it is uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
uncomfortable because I'm like, yeah, if he's not doing that, I promise you,
You're not
That's-
interested.
because you're not in that space yet. Or let me add this exception. The exception could be he's not in a place where he feels confident in himself according to the gap from where his mission is or where he wants to be, and where he's at a place where he feels confident that I can have someone else enter into my life at this
Right.
stage.
Right.
That is a real thing. A lot because of a guy who's really driven and has something that he's looking at, and knowing that a woman coming into this space right now, it'll make things more difficult,
Right.
and she'll be upset because I'm not able to
Give her
provide her
time.
the either time, money, energy
Yep.
that I would like to. So I would rather not get too close to anyone until I get to a place where this thing is operating, is running smooth. Now I can add in someone that I feel like I can really give my time and attention to.
Yeah, it was as someone dating in their 40s, as many people are, like there's this generational overcompensation going on. Too many women coming out of a divorce, don't want to be invulnerable. And I would say that actually nobody wants to be vulnerable these days. No matter what, right? Nobody wants their feelings hurt. Nobody wants to be disappointed. And as you stated at the beginning, it's like, show me yours first. And it's like, it don't work that way. It's like, you have to be willing to be open, but being able to trust that this person isn't your source. My girlfriend used to say this all the time. It's like, you're not my source. So even if it doesn't work, even if it does work,
you're gonna be
you
okay.
aren't my source. And so you can't make this person your source, because I think people feel that nobody wants to be your source of happiness, your source of joy, your source of nothing, actually. Partner, sure, but if I'm your source, then I already know I'm gonna disappoint you.
Autonomy is attractive. Obligation is
Less
drained.
or not? Yeah, nobody wants to feel obligated
Yeah.
to date you, to love you, to take you out, or so don't put pressure.
Because if you think about it, what makes a relationship even grow to the level of commitment? It always begins with autonomy, not obligation. Always, right? So if you and I first meet and we exchange numbers, and then I text you the next day, and I just say, wow, I was just thinking about, I'm so excited to meet you, and that dress you had on and the way you smelled was amazing. The dress you were wearing was just so complimentary.
It's going to always go back to physical. That's the other thing, smart, ambitious women. Because again, like as you're running down this, is like, no, it's what he sees. And a guy was like, the jeans you wore. And I was like, really? That's right. He was like, wait, was that too much? I was like, I understand it. I understand.
Yeah.
He was like, but you got a great shape. And he couldn't come up with nothing else. I loved it.
Now, and if a woman appreciates that, or even if he just said, okay, your smile, I'm thinking about your smile today. Now you're going to be like, oh my God, wow. He just texted me and said he was thinking about my smile. So why do you appreciate that? Because he didn't have to do it. So the appreciation is higher when there's autonomy. Lower when there's obligation.
Ooh. That's good. Married folks, y'all should take that down. And also, like I said, come join us on Sunday for the Myths and Magic. We'll talk about more of those, because that's exactly right. Appreciation
Goes up when there's autonomy. Because they didn't have to do that. They chose to do that.
Yeah, they're not doing it because they feel like they have to.
Yeah, they thought about me. I was on their mind, not because they were afraid that I was going to be upset if they didn't text me or get nagged at or be accused of not caring.
Accused is the key word here.
Right. All these accusations.
Text me like Jenny sounds always accusing me.
Right. So the more you can maintain that autonomy in your relationship from the beginning, because that's what makes each person like, wow, like same thing. If a woman just like, hey, I'm hanging out with a few friends. We're gonna be just doing some like brunch at my house. I would like to invite you over. I'll make, you tell me what you don't eat or whatever. And out of just the kindness of her heart, that's going to feel different than if I'm expecting her to do it. If it's out of obligation, right? She might do it out of obligation. Anybody might do something for you out of feeling obligated, but you don't even appreciate it as much as when they did it when they were not obligated.
Autonomy and appreciation versus obligation and expectation.
Yep.
Therein lies I think that sums up the whole dating experience in one shot. We don't have to keep belaboring the points. If you remember nothing else from this ID Color Love podcast, I think that's a gem that you can take. And there'll be more gems like that. This will not be all of them because, again, as we talk about being able to create a community where people can get this insight, because, again, the internet is filled with a bunch of sound bites and male bashing and women bashing and miserable people, married and single. But being able to truly live a life you love is like everybody deserves that. And I think everybody wants that, right? When men and women.
At the core, that's what it's all about. And all the other stuff is just, the frustrations and all the things that come up. That's just because it's default. It's not hard to be resentful. It's not hard to be angry. It's not hard to criticize and complain. It's as hard as it is to fall on the ground, right? What do? You just give in.
It's the gravity of love theory. It's like you don't have to understand gravity to fall, but you do have to understand gravity to fly.
There you go.
And you ain't got to understand love to fall in love, but you do have to understand love for a relationship to fly.
For a relationship, absolutely. Well said.
And it's so often we run into that. And if there's no more questions, as we land this this episode at a man's perspective on dating, if you had to give any insight that would help level up the love lives of smart, ambitious women, what would you say from a man's perspective?
I would say for everything that you are seeking in a partner, find it in yourself.
Ooh, Coach Trey. It's be the love you want to find is my whole. Be the one. Be the one, and then you'll be able to notice it when the one shows up to you, because you will know what that looks like and what that feels like. That takes us full circle to the conversation we were having behind the scenes, right?
Yep.
Oh, that's good.
Because women, the energy and essence of feminine energy is magnetic.
And
I really want to get that across. You have it so much easier than you want to have it.
You have it so much easier than you want to have it. The shade of it all. The image that popped in my head, Coach Trey, is when there's where it's like this kid on a rope, they're in a pool, and the kid is like screaming as if it's gonna drown.
Yes.
And the mother just put the legs down, and the kid could stand.
Yep.
You have it so much easier than you want to have it. Ooh wee. Ooh wee.
Because you're magnetic. Like, literally, once you just decide, like, if you can find those qualities in you, you just stand there. It's just going to, and you just have to sort what you want. That's it.
As one who has manifested and does on a regular basis, I want to disagree with you, and I know you are absolutely true. So I won't. I will say thank you. I will appreciate your contribution as always to all the lovers in training that are here. And like I said, like to do, like, and share this. Continue to stay connected. You got
I love that. Yes.
Join us in that, because we do want people to ensure, like I said again, that you tap into the power of who you are, and together we do that, and we do that incredibly well. Like I said, that's quotable. That is quotable. You have it much easier than you want. There is something sexy about the struggle. What is wrong with you?
I know, right? Like the little boy screaming, like, "What am I gonna do with all this drama?" Like I put on a whole show. You want to let that go and stand up in the shallow water?
And I mean, it was that literally that's the image that just popped in my head. But again, being able to bring women back to their feminine essence, how to tap into that, because society has consistently taught women against it. But inside of all the work we do with Lovers in Training, like, it is that spirit, it is that energy. And so I think we'll get this popping on the screen. It's like, so Sunday, speaking of the myths and the magic of marriage, coming up here on the 27th, because of that same premise, because for as many ideas people struggle with in dating, like for many people, dating does lead to marriage, but the difficulties that show up in dating also are showing up in marriages consistently. And so we will explore men and women coming together. It'll be a fun time. People are like, what is this about? We have some mixing and mingling, some dessert and drinks, a good time, and a whole host of great men and women on the love seat, where we will be talking about some common myths and some common things that have to be unlocked in order to enjoy the magic that shows up in marriages. And so married people, unmarried people just taking notes, formerly married people, everybody's invited, because you don't always need to go to therapy. Sometimes you just need to learn. And at the Myths and Magic of Marriage, you'll have a good time doing that. Like I said, over dessert and drinks with some good overhead music. We'll get to vibe, and you walk away with some ahas and some practical advice to be able to take your love life to the next level. So grab your tickets. There's a few tickets left for this Sunday, October 27th, at the Hook and Ladder Theater here in Minneapolis. Grab those. And for those of you that are like, but I'm not in Minneapolis, I know. People watch this from all over the world, and so we welcome you. But make sure that you check out BeTheOneLove.com. Get on that list, because, like I said, there are some really amazing stuff that's coming down the pipe. For people who want to learn how to love and are committed to great relationships. Like I said, for people that's committed to this battle of the sexes, I ain't for you. But for the people that are looking to continue to level up in love, make sure you're on the list at BeTheOneLove.com, and you'll get all the information for all the fun community and all the great stuff that's coming up. Because again, we believe that you bring logic to love. Why? So that we can build amazing relationships. So, as I say all the time, Persian poet Rumi says, your task is not to seek for love, but to seek within and remove all the barriers you've built against it. Grow in love.